Greetings, I'm Stachelin. Welcome back to the StachelinYaps podcast. And today, there is enough extraction survival shooters. We don't need any more. Stop making them. I'm gonna stop you right there, other me. Make sure, before we get into this video, you like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Tell me, what do you want to see for a future podcast episode? I'll probably do it. Who knows? Make sure you check out the Patreon. Patreons get videos a day earlier. They get other cool benefits. They get schematics for free. They get world downloads for free. You can buy them, but it's far cheaper to get everything through a subscription. And you can support me continually as opposed to a one-time purchase. Make sure you check out W Energy down below for all of you consistently tired MFers. Get your caffeine for better prices and less crashes than G Fuel and Gamer Subs. Check out the link down below or use code STASHLIN at checkout. All right, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Okay, so what do I mean by survival extraction shooters? If you haven't heard of the game Tarkov, that is the prime example game. It was like the original one, the most famous one that most people know, right? Most people have heard of Tarkov when you bring that up. But the idea of a survival extraction shooter is a shooting game, right? It's a game based on you having a gun and you go out, you got to do things with that gun and protect yourself, right? So it's a shooter, but instead of being like your Call of Duty Battle Royale or a team deathmatch that you would see, or like a search and destroy game mode, you load in with the gear that you've looted or purchased via an in-game store of some kind, and your job is to collect items to either sell or turn in for a quest, to turn in as from a quest, and you have to be able to extract. There are certain points on the map where if you get to them, stay there long enough, you will safely extract from the map, right? And that's essentially the way you win, is by extracting successfully and not dying and losing everything that you've got on you while in whatever the game calls being in the map. You know, in Tarkov, there's a number of like different maps that they've got. Arena Breakout, which is like the most famous um, Tarkov clone that I can think of. They call it the Dark Zone. There's another one called Lost Light that I saw pop up briefly. I haven't looked at that one in a while, but Lost Light was, I mean, it was moderately enjoyable to play. I haven't played it in a long time, though. I could maybe go back to it. I don't know. We'll see. It's possible that I could. But we've got enough of them. I swear, every day I look on like the phone app store and see at least another 7 have popped up. I don't understand what our addiction is to making so many of these dang games. Most of them are not good. Very few of them will I say are actually good. The 3 I would say that are good, Lost Lights, last I played it like 2 years ago, was pretty alright. I'll give it to it. The game, I mean, it had its issues. Like, you couldn't get single player matches for some reason when they had a single player match. Well, they just kept saying it wasn't, it wasn't up to our standard, it wasn't ready, which was definitely irritating because it meant I had to do solo squads, which for some reason that seems to be like the only option for most of these games is solo squads, but I'll get into that in a minute. So there's Arena Breakout, which I do play pretty regularly, and it's all right. Again, I have to solo squads that because it's the only matchmaking option that they have. They don't have a single player, which is stupid, and that should be fixed, but they haven't yet, obviously. I don't know that they will anytime soon, which is quite irritating. And anything else, I haven't really seen other versions. Those are like the big ones that I've seen, and they're the only ones I could tell you might be worth something. Everything else is just, oh, great, okay. Another poorly made clone. Woohoo. How awesome for us. We have another bad game on the market. Yay. And it's so irritating to see that, because we have the capacity to make good games, but we just keep getting sold this absolute garbage by game companies who think they can get away with it because we let them get away with it. We let them make this terrible, absolute trash of a game and then sell it to us for way too high of a price, or they just chock it full of in-game purchases. Like, I thought that was EA's job, not some random Joe Schmo gaming company that you've never heard of. And then those in-game purchases are somehow sometimes vital to the game. It's like, well, then just make, like, if you really want money, just make the game for purchase as opposed to a free game. You're already selling my information because the game's free. I know that for a fact. I'm not stupid. I already know you're selling my info. It's just what these companies do. You know, if the product's free, you're the product, right? It's a classic verbiage. I just, we need to stop doing this because it's terrible. Genuinely terrible. There's too many of them. Most of them aren't good. Give up, make a different game because that market is so oversaturated. Now, about this, the horrific matchmaking of a lot of these games. Why is there not a single player option? Why am I required to join in and have to play solo squads? Why am I being forced to fight teams of 4 as a single player? Sometimes I just want to play a game on my own. And sometimes I don't have teammates to play with. I just want to be able to play a little bit of the game without having to have like 7 teammates for this. Not all of us have all our friends available to play games all the time. Like, I feel like this is just like, I thought that was common knowledge, is that sometimes people are busy. Some people have jobs, you know. Not everyone can just grind out a game for 17 hours a day straight without sleeping or eating. I It's so irritating because I just want to play the game without having to absolutely sweat through every single lobby I join. Because I feel like I have to. Because I'm going to get absolutely clowned on if I don't. Like, I have to be, no matter what, spending so much money to get enough equipment and, like, high-level equipment that I can outperform anything that comes against me very, very quickly so that I'm not, like, getting absolutely dogged on because there's 4 people shooting at me from, like, 7 angles and I can't what am I supposed to do there? I'm a singular player, you know? I'm just one guy. What can I really do? It's so irritating that that's not an option. For Lost Light, for a while, it was. Like, there was a single player option, and it was great. Then they decided, oh, we're going to redo it. And since they stopped playing it, I haven't seen it be fixed. When I stopped playing, it was still under development. It had been absolutely months and months of them working on this. When they said multiple times it's not going to take that long, or it'll be done by this date, and then it just wasn't. And then, like, okay, great, thanks for lying to me. Appreciate it, homie. How just how wonderful of you. I thank you so much for that. Then Arena Breakout, the one I play the most, it doesn't have it. Tarkov doesn't really have it. I also don't play Tarkov much anymore. Also, I mean, the whole game of Tarkov is a mess at this point. Different DLCs for PvP versus PvE, and the game is way too expensive. At one point, there was a $200 DLC to play half the game. Like, half of the game was locked behind a $200 paywall, when the game was already a purchase the game kind of game. Not the game's free, but there's a battle pass kind of game. Which also, battle passes, can we do away with those in most games? An online poker game on my phone does not need to have a battle pass. Seriously. Why is this a thing? And I'm not kidding. I've got like an online, play poker against bots game on my phone, and it literally has a battle pass. That's another podcast episode, which maybe I'll do one of those, because that sounds like a fun podcast to do. But seriously, we need to stop with battle passes. They are a disease. They are ruining video games. ruining them so much. Uh, anyhow, Tarkov is the game of Tarkov itself is just a massive, massive mess. PvP has such hacking problems to the point where PvE is the only playable game, and that ruins half the fun. Half the fun was encountering players and fighting actual players, not just bots, where either the bot is unable to shoot straight, and in 100 years, maybe it'll have hit you once with a pistol round because it's the only gun it's got left with ammo in it. Or instantaneous headshot, no scoped, 360, 360 get absolutely clipped, kind of just professional siege player pixel peeking abilities. And that's another issue of most games with bots, is that the bots do not balance themselves in any way. You're either getting complete garbage or tier 1 Navy SEAL operators. It's just like, oh, come on. This is not enjoyable. This isn't playable sometimes. Sometimes it's not even it's just not even playable. Which is just, ugh. So irritating. So, I think that's about it. I think I ranted about everything I need to rant about. Stop making these games. They're not good. Stop making them. Go do something else that's better with your time. Also, Tarkov devs, fix your damn game. Make it actually playable. Make it fun. Okay. Die. You're gonna let me sleep? There we go. Okay. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe. If you haven't, go down below, leave a comment. Tell me what you want to see for a future podcast episode. I've done a lot of them. I need more podcast topics. This one was kind of last minute, I'm going to be honest. This is a little late, but, we're here, we're doing it. Go check out W Energy. Use code STACHLIN for 10% off. Okay, bye now.